drumming, you know. I mean,
the rhythm of drumming. Rhythm, you're saying, is so important.
And these kids really pick up on the rhythm, because like when we do like listen and move, you know, they're learning how to go with the rhythm.
And they're beginning to repeat all the chants. Right. Like if you're doing chants, they love the chants and they'll repeat them. Yeah. That's wonderful. I love to hear it back and remember.
So one of the things that you can do, and this takes a while to get, but if you can use your drums and find a way to keep the beat. So this is the most important part, because then you can do it anytime. Mm-hmm. You know, you can be doing anything. Maybe you're even holding a child. So this is a skill. This is not easy.
No, it's not. I'm trying to do it.
Because
you have to stay focused, and we're always
But you can even try like little bits at a time. Like let's say you're getting ready for circle, and maybe one of you got there first.
Yes.
And you have your 2 kids next to you, or 3, and then you start doing this. And then it's going to take everyone else a while to get to the circle.
Yes.
And then you're gonna aim to keep this going. It doesn't have to be this beat.
I like this. I can do it.
I like it too.
Because I can.
Because it could be this one.
Okay.
So what happens is when you're doing something that's predictable. It's predictable in an unconscious way. And this one you can just even do this too, where there's no prominent beat. It's not a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just something like this. What happens is it's predictable and it has an effect on the body. And so everybody's body starts kind of chilling out. Now, notice that it's not like this. You don't want to do like a fast beat, because that's going to cause some problems that I don't really want to get into now, but it's a big no-no, the fast beats. Mm-hmm. It's not. But if you do a slow one like this, then what you might do is when you sense that you're going off beat, and you think, can you see the horses? So awesome. Okay, so when you sense that I just can't keep this beat anymore, just stop.
Okay.
Because it's better for you to stop than for you to be like creating chaos in your room. But that's a way that you can kind of like flex your muscles, and you can be like, I held the beat for 60 seconds today. Great. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to hold the beat for 70 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, so here's some other things to watch out for. When you're trying to do this and you have children next to you, they're going to want to do it too. And so, what you want to make sure is that you've got the louder beat. Either that, or sometimes I just lift it up, and they get the idea because they can't reach. Yeah. But there must be times when you are giving the children the message that this is not your time to use the drum, because they will have their time. But you need to say, no, this time I'm just doing this. And it could be, we gather together in a circle as we sing. We gather together and make a golden ring. We gather together in a circle as we sing. We gather together and make a golden ring. Okay. So when you do stuff like that, it's almost like a computer programming. They're hearing a song. If you do that song enough times, they're going to start singing it. You're going to hear them, golden circle, whatever. They're going to make it up and they're going to do it. And And by the way, if they're singing a song that you sang and they're singing it all different, just let them do it however they do it. There's no, I know you know that, but make sure I get that on tape. Because there's no like right and wrong way. So, with the beat, when we're doing the rhythm with the children, like when all of the kids have a drum, and you've got your drums and you've laid them out on the floor, and usually people choose drums that the children, you all have babies and toddlers, so it's okay like if they crawl on the drum, if they drool on the drum, because you know that the drum, nothing's going to happen to it. It would be different if they were older children. It's better when you're doing this with the littler children to not give them sticks. Because if you give one of them a stick, then they all want a stick. Mm-hmm. Unless you have sticks for all of them, which can be tricky. And the other thing regarding the sticks, it's better if the sticks have a very, very fluffy part. Now this stick is the right size for a baby or a toddler, but it's too hard. Actually, but that doesn't sound bad. So what you do, what I want to encourage you to do is, okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we're talking about drums. I want to talk a little bit about mallets. Okay. If you're gonna hit with a hand, this is great. Great. The hand is like your go-to. Okay. But if you're gonna use a stick, especially with the babies, and you know this, right? You got to have like enough of them, right? Now these spoons, this is a spoon that has a round handle, probably from a yard sale. And what happens is when you wrap something around it, like a sock or something, okay, when you wrap something around it like a sock or 2 or 3 socks, and then you put like elastic band, or you wrap some yarn around it really, really tight, what happens is it makes a mallet that even if the child goes like this, it's not going to fall off. But if it doesn't have this on it, then the child will be using it, and the little sock that you put on it will go flying across the room, and then they're going to be hitting the drum with a stick, which could make a sharp sound that's unpleasant, and it could also hurt somebody else or even themselves. So it's great to kind of stock up on mallets. There's many different ways of making them. Another thing you can do if you don't have a spoon is to get a dowel or a stick and to carve a notch in it. And it's better if it's a little bit thicker. Maybe like as thick as your thumb, ideally for the babies and the younger ones, and something that's very short, right? And then really soft at the end. So the reason why you want them to be short is because the children tend to grab the end. I've always seen this. Yeah. And so even if you hand them something big, instead of holding it in the middle, which would be better for them, they always hold it at the end, which is really very awkward for a baby or a toddler. So, short mallets, okay? Short mallets, and if you're going to make your own, make a notch in the wood, and you can use felt, cotton, socks to wrap them. This has a piece of elastic band, but the elastic band is going to break. So sometimes the elastic band is good to put on at the beginning, but then you want to wrap it really well with something durable. And then the other thing is, if you're making these on your own, you have to use hard wood, like oak, or something really, really hard, because if you make the mallets out of pine or soft wood, when the children are using them, they're going to break and they're going to splinter, and then that will be really unsafe. So, one thing about having different types of mallets is that the children can kind of get that there's different sounds, like so it is nice to have different mallets. Yeah.
I like the sound of it.
So now with the drums, okay, I'm gonna say this, but it's a little bit more kind of esoteric, but it's very true. Okay, so like when we're using different instruments like the harmonicas, it's understandable that we're going to be disinfecting them, right? But what happens with instruments like drums and also clothing is that if you've had an experience where it was just a really heavy energy day, right? It's really great to like cleanse them. Yeah. And I think I would just say, as long as it feels good to you. Mm-hmm. Like you might have rose water that you spray on them. Oh. You know, you might burn sage. Okay. Or palo santo, or cedar, or you could also just, you know, bring the instrument outside into nature and just
we normally go outside to release some of that energy.
Use whatever tools that you have that you're comfortable with, yeah, to cleanse the energy. Because for some people, it's like straight up prayer, and they do the prayer however they do the prayer to help out. And I'm a big advocate of like your intentions make a massive difference. Taking the time in your own way. It could be that you're spraying the room. It could be that you are cleaning with, you know, lemon oil or, you know, something non-toxic that kind of brightens the room. It could be that you're smudging the drum with sage or palo santo or cedar or sweetgrass or whatever it is that you're using. They have done scientific studies where they've kind of measured, I don't know what it is that they measure, but they literally measured, and they found that doing things that ancient people, like all of our ancestors, would use, like that's an arborvitae behind us, and you know, they use the plants in different ways to help cleanse their bodies, help cleanse the air, and help cleanse instruments. So if you have instruments, and if you are kind of sensing like this drum's been picking up some bad juju, you know, listen to that, and then trust yourself. Because if you go out and if your intuition is I wanna sprinkle some salt on the drum, and just follow your intuition, right? Because your body will tell you it's good now. You know, and maybe it'll take 5 minutes or 10 minutes, maybe it'll take one second. But it's really important because drums have been used for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, because human beings just take a piece of wood, and then they're hunting the animals, and they get the animal skin, they stretch it over the wood, and then there you are. So you noticed that when I started playing this, the energy shifted, right? And then there's a whole energy with this that we have to just listen to.